All right. We've reached the final segment of Kingpins 24 Canada, and I couldn't think of a better way to end it here with Kathy Cheng, president of WS and Company, which is an end-to-end manufacturing facility here in Ontario, Canada, and Sydney Better, who's spent the last 40 years pouring his time and energy into the Canadian fashion scene. Sid, I don't think there's really anything you don't do, from global sourcing to trend analysis. You pretty much do it all. But I'm really excited to have you both here to discuss the value and the opportunities of Made in Canada for denim. So, we've actually just watched a couple old ads from the Great Western Garment Company. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, they've been playing throughout the show. So we know denim production was really booming here in Canada at one point. Yeah. And Sid, you've been responsible for bringing a lot of denim brands into Canada. So would you be able to tell us about some of your positive experience with that?
Okay, so I started in the denim industry in 1978, working as a sales rep for Britannia Jeans. I was handling all the small accounts in Ontario, and that was really when fashion denim came upon the scene. In the 80s, I had my own distribution company and started importing denim into Canada from Europe primarily. I was really fascinated with the European denim scene because I felt they were doing American denim better than the Americans were, and combining some fashion with it. But even in the basics, they were ticking off from where Levi's kind of left it.
Okay.
In the early 70s, when Levi's stopped using ring spun denim and went to more commercial denim, they kind of lost their, it was like they were starting to produce white bread rather than rye bread. And all the Europeans tended to be using Japanese denim as their base cloth, and were producing more what I loved, which is more like rye bread.
Yeah.
When I first started in the industry in the 70s, there was a large number of denim brands actually producing in Canada. Even Levi's was producing in Canada. There was brands like Hash Jeans, Rainbow Jeans, Cream Jeans, and Silver Jeans, lest we forget.
Silver, yes.
And Parasuco. There was choices, and it was a great time. Since then, I think for some reason that's fallen away.
A little bit, so.
Yeah, so in the 80s, when I started, I was bringing, my biggest line was Big Star Jeans that was from France, and had a German partner as well. And I was also bringing in a very high-end line from Switzerland called Blue System that was famous for their jeans as well. Amazing. So those two were my cornerstone brands in the late 80s and through the 90s.
Right. So yeah, you basically opened like a whole new market for denim in Canada by bringing in these brands.
Some people have credited me for breaking the $100 price point in jeans. I don't know if credited or want to hit me with a baseball bat, but yes, jeans before that weren't over $100, and I have been credited for breaking that barrier.
Well, we
did appreciate the quality.
Yes,
yeah.
Quality is key. And Kathy, for you, it's kind of the opposite in the way that you operate your business, where Sid was bringing in brands, but you're actually adding value to WS & Co. to differentiate yourselves from manufacturing overseas. So could you tell us a bit about how you do that?
I'd like to think so. So at WS & Company, when we work with our brand partners, what we do is really focus on quality, quick to market, highly flexible and agile way of doing product development as well as bulk production. And we really work with our brand partners, which, for example, an iconic Canadian brand would be Roots Canada. What we're hoping that we're able to do with Roots Canada, as an example, is add value where we can test markets, really focus on the quality. And I think one thing people aren't really thinking about when you're looking at the country of origin and where the products are coming from when you're doing sourcing is also within your supply chain if you're taking advantage of trade agreements. You know, we're always looking at FOB costs, which I get, you need the FOB costs, but with the world being the way it is and all the trade imbalances, to be able to make within a country that has 14 active trade agreements globally and is the only G7 country that has trade agreements with all other G7 countries, I think that in itself is a lot of value when you look at dollars and cents from sourcing perspective. Sid?
No. So I was just going to add, Andy, during the 90s, I actually, and actually the late 80s, I actually used WS & Co. to do support product.
Yes.
Not only for the denim brands I was importing, because they were allowing me to do additional product actually made in Canada. So for example, Wingsun WS & Co. would make T-shirts supporting the Big Star brand. They used to do a lot of baby tees for me. And then in the early 90s, Wingsun helped myself and my partners kickstart a brand called Indian Motorcycle. We actually did do denim made in Canada.
Amazing.
With Indian as well. It was made by the Silver family in Winnipeg. But yes, I've always used WS & Co. to do support product for my denim brands.
Yeah, Sid's been a great supporter. He's been a wonderful supporter of quality made in Canada and just to be able to react quickly to the marketplace, right? And really, again, focusing on the quality aspect of the product.
Totally. And based on the quality, we actually had a segment before where we were with a denim tailor here in Canada. His name is Ben Viapiana, but he actually said that he's lived around the world a couple times and people appreciate Canada. People know that Canadians do things well and that we really do focus on the quality here because that's kind of our bread and butter, you know, where we can't.
So he's doing bespoke jeans, correct, Ben? Yes.
Yeah.
I did some research to see actually who was still
doing it here.
And I did look at his website. It's quite good, and I want to pay a visit to his shop because it was very intriguing.
If anyone's in Toronto, definitely pay a visit to Ben Viapiana's shop. He'll show you everything and how to make a pair of jeans. It's really awesome. So
I was particularly interested in the repair capabilities there.
Totally.
Because, yeah, I think that's a huge opportunity.
Yes.
Kathy and I have spoken about that opportunity a great deal.
Yes, as I'm wearing a
pre-love shirt.
Correct.
So all of this is upcycled flannel. So these are, you know, flannel shirts that were destined to hit landfill, but what we've done is upcycled them and given it a brand new life. So I think in fashion, we talk about sustainability quite a bit. And I think the environmental impact of sustainability is table stakes. But the other part of it is really looking at the socioeconomic impact of made in Canada and the sustainability of being able to operate and give back within the country or the community in which you live and serve.
100%. And I remember you mentioning that Pre-Loved actually has a little section in your factory now. You've actually, right? Like you've really partnered with them.
Yeah. And again, that's what I think the beauty of Made in Canada is. I mean, we just had the Roots team here not too long ago last week. And with that, it's how do we work quickly together? How do we collaborate? And when you have so much human interaction and hands-on, then you're able to really hit the market quicker. I think instead of going multiple emails of 10 million emails, if we can all just even if it's not in person to some degree, but you're close enough that you can work with your manufacturer and you have such a great relationship, I think it does improve the quality of from design inception to actually execution, as well as the timeline is much smaller too.
Right. I know we're talking about denim. I don't want to go too far off topic, but I will add to this, to what Kathy's saying, that this whole COVID experience has really brought home how important it is to have people like Kathy, the Canada Goose, Roots Leather Factory, people who are still manufacturing in Canada who can turn their operations and start making PPE. Because I think that, you know, that's something that we've all lost sight of. Even the government kind of abandoning a lot of Canadian manufacturers, allowing so much inexpensive goods to come into Canada, so that people don't even realize what's happened to an industry. It's a time like this COVID experience where we really recognize that the value of having domestic manufacturing.
Yes, 100%.
And it's really something that we need to protect more and more. And I felt that way for a long, long time. I really, as Kathy said,
It's been a great supporter of Made in Canada, and just locally made for ages. And it's because I think it's not just, there's business sense to it, and it's also doing the right thing. And I mean, Sid's absolutely right. During the height of pandemic right now, you've had a number of Canadian manufacturers that have been able to pivot. And whoever thought making t-shirts, sweatshirts, and track pants would have a hand and really be a soldier in this global pandemic fight battle, right? And so that's something that we're really, really proud of. And, you know, if we can help with medical grade, even though we don't do wovens, but that's something that we can kind of shift around to help and give back. That's really what we're all about here.
From your guys, for both of your perspectives, what do we need to bring Made in Canada back, and just some of the values that we can share with people and just attract people to Made in Canada?
Well, I think a lot of people are now looking to Made in Canada. I think it means something now, and it will as we come out of this current state, it'll become more and more important in all fronts. Not only denim. I think denim, it will take some perhaps existing brands and creating some really exciting new products, and then maybe some younger people getting involved. And I don't mean it younger, but people have to get involved in the industry and start at the ground level and start to build up, because it's really a shame. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean just a complete startup. I mean, what Maurizio Donati is doing is super exciting. If anybody doesn't know who that is, Atelier and Repair out of Los Angeles, but he's starting this new project where he's doing, you know, recycled denim, which I think is brilliant, because literally, you know, to me, there's so much out there that could be redone and like similar to the pre-loved concept. I think there's many ways to do this, and that could be one of them.
Right. I think that's really interesting that the recycled denim concept, that would be a great way to start here in Canada. Obviously, if we don't have the infrastructure to make our own denim fabrics here, but that's definitely a huge way that even someone like a startup could start out with here.
Well, when I was looking at Ben's website today, I thought, well, he would be a great person to do that kind of thing, because he's had the experience and doing the mending and take it up a notch.
Yeah, and he has all the machinery.
Correct, which is the probably the most difficult part of the whole thing.
Yeah, of course. And Kathy, do you have anything to add here too?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a few things to get the momentum going or to keep it up. There's a number of things that need to be invested in. I would say recognizing and educating the end consumer, conscious consumption, educating and asking them to look in the label, look at the country of origin. That's one way to start, and recognizing when you're comparing products, apples to apples, when you're looking at something that's made in a third world country versus you know, a product that's made in Canada, which globally has such a great reputation for quality, for our standard of living, for everything. Recognizing when you're made in Canada, there's 3 levels of governance you're really adhering to. There's the federal, there's the Ontario, the provincial, and there's also the municipal, right? So of course there's going to be a price difference. And then as a conscious consumption is, as a consumer, are you going to invest in the future, which is when you're buying made in Canada, you really are investing in the future. I think another thing that needs to be, that we need to address, and it could be as a country and from all government levels as well, is the infrastructure. I mean, you both said, oh, they have machinery, and I think machinery is one thing, but same with the talent pool. arguably since you know, China joined WTO in early 2000, we've lost 2 generations of makers here. So we can have many great machines, and money can buy financing in the machine, but can money also buy the talent? And I think that's what we also have to focus on, is our craftsmanship. One of the things I kind of say very often is we celebrate farm to table, we celebrate our farmers, right? I mean, the food industry is now celebrating chefs that are using local supply chain and local ingredients. When was the last time we ever celebrated maker to skin? And I'm gonna, you know, ask everyone who's watching this, is when was the last time you actually celebrated a maker? And I think that's also what's needed, is because clothing or apparel has been halfway around the world for so many decades now. When it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And so we do a lot of factory tours, especially with fashion schools, and often you see the students come in and they're shocked that there's actually people running these machines. And if you think about it, it's just like software, like technology. Technology is, you can have a beautiful piece of software, but if you don't have the right user, your software is useless. And it's the same with apparel making. When you need to celebrate our makers, just like we celebrate our computer programmers, because they're the ones who's making this special. So that's another thing. So I think, you know, education for conscious consumption, infrastructure, so businesses like ours can continue to give back, and then also the talent pool, because you know what, there is a thriving career opportunity in manufacturing, but we don't talk about it very often because it's not the sexy part of fashion. Let's be honest. When people ask me, what do I do for a living? I'm like, do you want the sexy answer or do you want the business answer? Because the business answer is, I'm an apparel manufacturer. But the sexy answer is, I'm in fashion. But do we celebrate the back end of fashion? And I wish there were more professionals like Sid who would just celebrate us the way he does. And when he celebrates us, it really brings joy, and it brings so much tear to us, because it's such a personal craft that we've taken upon ourselves to make sure that we keep that level of quality that's out there.
Yeah, and I think the consumer doesn't get to hear these stories too, so they don't feel the passion of made in Canada, or something that's made in your own country. And that's why I do agree that education, and we are so disconnected from all our clothes. So sorry.
I would venture to say that, you know, that Kathy's right. More people need to check where things are made to enlighten themselves. They tend to check only the price, the price ticket, rather than checking where it's made and who's benefiting from it in the end. Because we're missing a whole facet to it. And Kathy was so right when she talked about the talent pool. In my career, I've loved meeting people. Annie, you're one of them. I told Kathy about you.
No.
You know how much she's going to enjoy.
Blown away by you.
Because that's the type of passion and enthusiasm this industry needs. Otherwise, it's never going to come back to life. We need more young people that are determined. Well, I shouldn't say young people, because that's kind of ageism. I think we need more people that are passionate about producing in Canada and looking for ways to accomplish that, because it can take new forms today. Like again, going back to Maurizio, it doesn't always have to be done as, you know, a new garment. There's ways of doing recycled. There's ways of really being more craft oriented. People need to think about how they can kickstart this industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more these stories are shared, the more people will know about it and be interested. It's super fascinating. And so, you know, if people were aware, that was like me. Once I became aware, I wanted to know more, and I wanted to do something about it. So I think
sorry, go ahead.
One of the only areas of concern in the denim industry is Kathy surmounted it in her area, because they're starting to knit more fabrics right here in Canada, importing yarns. But there's nobody, to my knowledge, producing denim in Canada at this point, or twill. I don't even know if the machinery at this point in time exists in Canada. I know it used to, but I don't think it does. It would be fascinating to resurrect that opportunity.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, did you have something to add there?
I lost my thought. I was so enthralled with what
Sorry,
Sid was saying. Sorry.
That was a very, very great way to end off the panel. I think it's given us a lot of motivation here in Canada to actually start something, and it seems possible. Like, it is possible. We just need some passion and some hard work to do it. But we're coming, you know, we're coming, I think, and there's more and more people coming to Canada to actually.
Can I add one more thing, Annie? Both Kathy and I are approachable. So if anybody has ideas and wants to approach either one of us, I know you can reach me through Instagram.
Okay. Share your Instagram then.
I think it's at Better Sid or Sid Better if you search it, and I'm always happy to help.
Perfect.
And I know Kathy is too.
Thank you.
Where can people reach you at?
Me, I'm at Kathy, KTHYKW Cheng, CHENG. So that's Instagram. And then, or you can reach out to us at Redwood Classics, REDWOOD CLASSICS, also on IG and across all social channels. But I did remember my thought was I wanted to say one thing on a positive note. As Sid has mentioned before, it could be like, don't be discouraged because everyone starts somewhere. So I know I often get inquiries and they're like, well, I've gone everywhere. I can't find this, or I can't get help. I would say keep digging and, you know, have a compelling story, have a compelling reason why a manufacturer should go into this journey with you and go on this adventure, because that's really how often we've been able to onboard new brands. As much as some of the brands think, oh, well, you know, I'm going to pick the manufacturer. Know that when you're made in Canada, there's not that many. So when you're approaching a manufacturer, please be prepared. Know what your merchandising plan is. Have an idea of how many styles you want, what fabric. When we get emails that says, oh, I have an idea and I want to start a line, that tells me you're still dreaming and I don't know how serious you are. So I just wanted to put that out there. If there's any dreamers, we don't want to kill dreams, but at the same time, let's be realistic so we can get to market and keep making Made in Canada happen.
Dreams with practical steps. Dreams with some practicality.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I thank you for the positive note to end off, and this was truly amazing. And I'm so happy that everyone was able to listen to your insights. I'm very fortunate to be able to be here in Toronto with you guys. So I will see you soon. And this is the last segment of Kingpins 24. So if we want to sign off everybody else for Kingpins Canada, let's.
Yay!
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
And we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.